For those of you who are familiar with unique streamers who have very, very large audiences and cover not just the United States, but all over the world, it's kind of surprising how far he reaches. But Jen, and I would say our channel in general really owes a lot to this gentleman. He really.
But I don't even think he knows. Wait, bring him on. Bring him on.
Well, we're gonna bring on none other than Vaush. He's here.
Hi.
Hello there. How are you all doing?
Good. So, do you realize like how monumental you were to our little channel?
You know, I've heard rumors, but I tried not to let it get to my head. You know.
No, but you should because of you, we like. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like we were a small. I mean, we're still kind of small.
You're on here for 2 seconds, and Vaush brand immediately appears. Oh my Lord. My friend, your reputation precedes you. I don't know what it is. I think you just got a lot of. I think you just got a lot of haters. That's definitely part of but that's part of being a big channel. Would you say that that's just naturally what happens? You know, when you ultimately end up having a large following, there's always going to be a line of dissenters. It's just the natural progression of the way things ultimately come about.
I think the only people who get involved in politics who don't attract a crowd of you know, haters are probably people who are too scared to speak frankly on issues they care about. I think that pretty much any strong progressive advocate is going to end up attracting a good number of angry people, you know?
Yeah, I find it fascinating with you, actually. And I know I said this to you before. You never watch Seinfeld? Did you ever watch Seinfeld at all?
No, I'm afraid it was showing my age a bit here, but I'm afraid it was actually a little bit before my time.
No, I know, but it's in syndication. But so there's this episode where Seinfeld really likes this girl. He likes her. She's like seemingly perfect. And all his friends think she's such a loser and he can't figure it out. He's like, oh my God, but she's so nice. I got to bring my parents in to assess because what am I not seeing? And I feel like when people talk crap about you, I don't understand.
No,
I don't understand. You get crap for the trans community has issues with you, which I can't for the life of me understand. And can you explain? I mean, like, it's bizarre to me.
I think okay. If you've spent any length of time online, I think you'll find that there's a lot of really toxic infighting amongst progressive and left-leaning people, and unfortunately, I think often people with even the best intentions get roped into that. So I'm a pretty forward-speaking person, not a tremendous filter on me, which I don't think is in any way, shape, or form conflict with the values I hold. But it does mean sometimes that you get into arguments with people with whom you share really minor disagreements. One of the best advocates for trans I guess ideas, trans rights online is a woman named ContraPoints, who is a well, that's the channel name. I mean, and she also is just bitterly hated by some portions of the online trans community. It's tragic, but I try not to think too much of it because I know this 5 years ago, there were also perfectly wonderful people who I disliked for petty, bickery, online infighting reasons. So I just try to think maybe in 5 years, they'll come over the same way that I did and we'll all get along and try to push for something together, you know?
Yeah, because I've now been, I think, following you and listening for a long time. I mean, feels like a really long time. And I have yet to hear you say anything that I have found remotely objectionable or inappropriate or like, so when I think people have an issue, I'm like, what are they listening to? Like, I just, it's weird. I can't see what it is.
My support for the Palestinian people has angered a couple of people on Twitter the past day.
Okay, well, I get that too. Okay, I get that too. But that's not, I mean, that's whatever. I've been called a self-loathing Jew and all sorts of things like that. And I keep moving further and further to the left on Israel, which is not necessarily ideal for electoral politics in Broward County.
Maybe not. You know, I'm not Jewish myself, but I grew up in Beverly Hills, which has a lot of Persian Jews there. And when I grew up, these were very left-leaning people for the most part, you know, very progressive attitudes. And at the time, I didn't know anything about Israel-Palestine, but these were not the people you see getting online over these issues. I know that often the loudest voices when it comes to Israel-Palestine stuff aren't Jewish people. It's fundamentalist Christians who have a military interest in maintaining our hegemony there. So I think it's really disingenuous when people say your opinion on this matter has anything to do with how Jewish you are or whether or not you support Jewish people. I think it's a very horrible way of reducing down the nature of the conflict.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had that issue because it's almost like you have to, if you accuse somebody of being anti-Semitic, you're easily able to shut down the conversation because now all of a sudden they're just inherently wrong. And they equate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, and that's very problematic. It's inaccurate, and that is what a lot of people use to sort of keep the discussion off the table and to not even discuss the idea of not supporting Israel. But I wanted to ask you something, Erica, regarding what he just said, because one of the things I've heard, and I don't know if this is North Carolina too, but in South Carolina, that some of the biggest pro-Israel people are the Christian fundamentalists.
Wow, and I have seen that, and I have experienced that in North Carolina as well. As for me and our campaign, we took a hit from a little bit from the opposing side when we were the only Democrat in the North Carolina Senate. There was a piece of legislation that came before the chamber floor, the North Carolina Senate floor, and it was a penalty for anyone, any company in North Carolina that was against that was participating in BDS. And so I was concerned at the number of colleagues and people who were afraid to vote the right way on that. And so to be the only Democrat to take that stand, I believe that there is a fair bit, but people don't feel as comfortable navigating that, particularly if you're not Jewish or Palestinian. But yeah. I know for me and my reference point, I stand in solidarity with all oppressed and marginalized communities across this world. And we as a country have been too much on the wrong side of colonialism and imperialism, and we can do better to build a more just society. And that starts with a more ethical foreign policy.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what, though? It's interesting because it's like you would think that being Jewish gives you more standing to talk about this, like what you're saying, like somehow it's more okay. Actually, no. Actually, it's like the hate is palpable from inside the tribe when you talk against the state of Israel. Right. I generally don't bring it up unless asked, just because I know what I feel like, but it's not necessarily worth infuriating people. Thank you so much, Thomas, for the happy 50th. I love that. And we are, just to remind everybody, we are doing this as a fundraiser.
A perfect time to plug.
A perfect time to plug. I don't know what vampire mommy milkers are, but anything, Vaush, what kind of stuff, what are vampire mommy milkers?
Oh, and he doesn't even want to see, he doesn't even want to address it.
People are embarrassing him now. He feels like probably saying, look, people, we're amongst the more like, we're amongst
ladies present here.
We're amongst liberals, people. We have to contain ourselves.
Can we talk about this, please?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So guys, this is one of the projects that GenCorp is working on. This is one of the things we're raising money for. I'm going to start monthly distributions. This month, we're actually putting them together in a couple of days. Sponsor a pack. These are health hygiene kits, things like socks, underwear, blankets, toothpaste, toothbrushes, Band-Aids. We have different ideas coming in as to like what sort of things to add, but basically just survival type kits. And we're really wanting to be doing $350 a month. That is where your money is going. That and potentially my frosty beverage at Taco Tuesday next month.
Yes. And of course,
we do Trash and Taco Tuesday. The first Tuesday of every month, we do Trash and Taco Tuesday. We do a beach cleanup followed by tacos. And so, yes, your contribution could be well paying for a taco and a frosty beverage, but also a beach cleanup.
Become a monthly Patreon. It would be wonderful.
Become a monthly Patreon. And all of the links to help us out are below, but $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, all of that really helps us be able to serve.
And the donation we're asking for this evening is $20. $20 is how you can sponsor a GenCorp care. You're cut off. I'm cutting you off. You're not having any more drinks.
I need another beverage.
What did he like?
Where's
like
the cabana boy?
Like
I need some fireball shots.
No, we're not.
I feel like we're gonna.
Somebody has to be you be the liberal. I'll be the conservative. The conservative says you're relaxed.
All right, guys. So this is what we're collecting money for. So all of your donations go to GenCorp. All we do is local service. And that's one of the things that we're doing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Maya.
All right, so we could go back to talking about something serious if you want.
Yes.
We had to put in the
I
plug.
apologize for the juvenility of my audience. And by the way,
that's okay. We've accepted the fact that there are people
I
who
like
are simply
it.
going to act like kids.
I like it.
And a
I
happy
don't
birthday.
understand your little world and the Twitchies and all that. It's like I don't understand the games and this stuff, but I like it. And I look at your thumbnails and the words, and I'm like, okay, then you're playing like the death blow or whatever. I don't know.
Actually, this is a good opportunity to ask Vaush.
Look at him. He's laughing at me because I'm
I'm not. No, I'm laughing at me. I promise you, I am the butt of this joke. It is I am.
No, you're just young. You're young. No, I'm just old.
No, but Vaush, I think you could definitely help us. We're trying to update our aesthetic to the show. We want to have a little intro music, maybe a little graphic.
He loves your intro.
Yeah, it's a good.
I can put you in contact with the animator who helped me on that.
Oh, that would be really cool.
Because
so
I think
he likes your intro.
Well, we also I think have your father is too much. Dad, you should have just sent me a check. Why'd you give money to Google, Dad? He just wants to inspire others to join in on the
fun.
you.
Thank you, Daddy. That's so sweet.
And I think we have a theme song, Heat Wave.
Well, we're working on our theme song. Well, it's okay. It's
perfect.
free stock music, so you can call it whatever you want.
Yes, but it's perfect
Our
because
theme
it's
song.
Florida. It's got kind of like an 80s Miami Vice kind of sound to it. And I think it just kind of works with, where we are.
I love that vaporwave vibe. I'm sure they'd be able to accommodate you.
That would be awesome. And then we would share the same people that did the Vaush intro. That would be really cool.
Just another way we're connected.
Oh my God. Well, I'm like a huge fangirl. Like it's all very surreal to me.
No, I wish I had brought some happy news, since that's what I heard you all talking about when I came in, that we're all in need of some happy news at the moment.
We are. Do you have any happy news?
Oh, I mean, things have been a little bit grim lately.
Well, we could talk smack about Ben Shapiro. That's always fun.
Oh, that's always fun. But then we're reminded of his existence, and then it's an ongoing.
And then we're quoting him. By extension, you're actually talking about him.
That was just a video of yours I was just watching with you talking about him and Jordan Peterson.
We do have somebody who wants to come and say happy birthday to Jen.
Oh, no.
I just want to let all of you know it's been a really great evening, and I've been watching from behind, but I have to tell you something.
You're always from behind.
The party doesn't start until the Donald gets here. And of course, I wanted to wish you a wonderful, incredible happy birthday. The traffic getting here from Mar-a-Lago was terrible, but of course, I was able to get here because they knew it was me. They had the Make America Great Again sign on the side of the limousine. They understood I needed to get to the party, and I'm here now. So I hope you're all having
I don't know who invited you.
Well, we're having a really, really great time right now. And Vaush, you have a lot of subscribers, a lot of followers, really big, really impressive.
Stop trying to
more on Twitter than you now, actually.
Not as well. That is only temporary. We're coming up with a new game. I'm having a new channel, a new social media page.
I saw your new social media page. It's basically just a blog.
Well, but the blog is really great. I just talk about how great I am, and everybody agrees. And they pay me to say that all the time. It's really incredible. It's not that difficult. Because I'm an incredible, stable genius, and I'll be running again soon. Just wanted to say hello.
Thank you.
You ladies are lovely.
I need to give
really
you the hug.
You all.
It's a good voice.
All right.
No, you know what? No, I have it, though. I have the good news. I don't know if this has already been brought up. I'm coming in 2 hours into this thing. But still, Chauvin, 3 charges guilty. I still can't believe it.
Oh, yeah, we could. You know what? I called it wrong. I called that they wouldn't get him on second-degree murder. That they would get him on
I did not think they'd get him on second degree.
And I'm glad they did. And the truth is that the evidence was there, but I was just I'm so used to feeling so defeatist. So I really thought, okay, maybe he'll get 3rd degree and then he'll get the manslaughter charge. And I don't know if you saw that now the judge just, there was information just recently put out that because of aggravating factors, that's going to enhance his sentence.
Ooh.
Yes.
Which is even more promising.
Yeah. And I really do think that his guilt, as much as anything, the movements around the country mattered, but there was video evidence. And to me, it gives even more credence to the idea that police officers have to be wearing body cams, especially anytime they're interacting with civilians.
If it weren't for that video, we never even would have had the conversation. The woman who took that video. Yeah, my parents were in LA for the Rodney King riots, which, I mean, we all know how those went. And
Yeah.
I was really worried it was going to be another one of those, you know, a 20-year benchmark of racial injustice. And of course, the guilty verdicts, they don't fix anything, but
right. It's not justice, it's accountability.
They make you feel a little good. I mean, that's something, isn't it? Just a little bit.
Watching him get handcuffed right out of the courtroom when they revoked his bail.
And you said that you were shocked.
His face when he got the guilty, he was like,
I gotta tell you, it gave me a warm and fuzzy feeling. I felt pleased by that.
Sabby, Erica would really like your take on this, because we know that, you know, policing in communities of color is very difficult, but sometimes it takes that landmark circumstance that sets the precedents going forward. How did you guys react, and how do you feel at this point as far as that went?
Thanks, John. I actually had to take the day off, that evening off of the campaign, because it was so weighty. Finally, I felt that we were dealing with state-sanctioned violence against Black and brown people. I finally felt that, you know, I agreed with the AG. It's not justice. It'd only be justice if you could bring him back, but it was a big step toward ending state-sanctioned violence against Black and brown. Within 24 hours of the verdict, though, we had an incident in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I'm sure you're familiar with it. Andrew Brown, who was shot, I believe it was 3 times in the arm, and what killed him was a shot to the back of the head. And still, there has not been a release of that video. So it's so important that we make sure that we continue to push, because we have to push for accountability. And that's passing the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. But in North Carolina, we also passed a bill several cycles ago that made it mandatory for police officers to turn and engage their dash cams and their body cameras when they are interacting with the public. And if it were not for the passage of that bill, now that bill did not go far enough, because it created a convoluted process in terms of getting a judge to release that video. And so my colleagues, former colleagues, are now fighting to have the video released within 48 hours. But it's so important that we not only take the merits of this case and that verdict as showing a big step toward addressing the needless and senseless killing of Black and brown people by police officers who are supposed to be there to protect and serve. We need to look at reforms that starts analyzing, you know, just how we can stop some of these police departments who have historic issues with over-policing minority communities and use of excessive force. I mean, in that area alone, you have Philando Castile, who was murdered in a routine stop. You had Dante Wright that same week, who was murdered in a routine traffic stop. Perhaps we need to get public safety officials that are traffic cops instead of the police engaging citizens until we can crack down on this needless killing.
Yeah, agreed. Why does somebody need to have weapons to stop? You actually, you don't. And in fact, in Davie, where we live, when you see a Davie police car that says service aid, they're police officers, but they're unarmed, and they actually have all the same authority that a police officer does. So if you get pulled over, you're equally screwed. So, you know, that just shows you that there is definitely a purpose for that.
Yeah, I was going to say that I actually talked to George Floyd's uncle, and he actually said that he's not mad at the officer. He's mad at the system, because he said he just feels like, he said, okay, you know, he was arrested, you know, he's found guilty. He said, but that's not going to bring my nephew back. And right. he just said, it's just the cycle repeats itself. He said there were like 6 other police incidents right after that verdict was read. So it was really interesting to like hear that from him, that he said he's not mad at the officer. He's mad at the system.
Yeah. Well, I think that makes him be an infinitely better person than me.
That's the right attitude, though, right? I mean, fixing on it like it's an individual problem never actually solves it. Some incident happens, you spend a year drumming up a trial, decide who's mad at who was in the wrong. Okay. Even if you get your verdict, great. That's one person down in a country of 1/3 of a billion. It's systemic issues that need to be fixed. So those are probably the ones worth being mad at. And, you know, I mean, Chauvin, it's really telling. I don't think that like there's some magical cop gene that makes people evil. You know, I think they get put into a boiler press that makes them very callous, you know, in some respects towards human life. They reify and reflect a lot of racial biases that express themselves in their training and the types of people they spend their time around. None of that gets solved by saying this individual was bad, in jail now, we did it, nicely done. That's a very neoliberal approach to addressing systemic issues, personal responsibility, everyone for themselves. But you move past that and you start targeting institutions, and then the people who told you individuals were the problem start sweating.
Yeah. Well, I also think there's a certain thing to be said. It's like it's a chicken and an egg situation, because I think that we've reached a point in policing where a certain type of person is going into that industry. You're going into that field because you want to be geared up in riot gear and going in to play commando. And this is now what that has become. So now we're attracting a certain mindset of people. If we had police departments, which is what I think they should be, which is the back end, which is investigating, clearing rape kits, doing the solving of things that actually are crimes, because we don't do that either. We've got so many untested rape kits and unsolved crimes that it's outrageous. So we should be spending time on that, but we don't need commandos. Oh, wow. P. Jones. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. All of this money, just so you guys know, is really going to help our GenCorp, our local organization. We're doing homeless bags in particular.
It's going towards my
directly to the tacos.
Fancy. And occasionally there are tacos, but it comes with a beach cleanup. Okay. And plus we're a 501c4. I don't even have to be transparent about our funds.
And I also think
I could have my beverage.
And if I can just add, you know, my thoughts, I think it just comes down to, if you're going to try to change anything systemically, you got to hit it on that one singular issue that everyone can identify with. And to me, that's ending qualified immunity. If you are able to end qualified immunity, what that does is it alleviates the issue in policing, which is, of course, the code of silence. And the Fraternal Order of Police is one of the most powerful unions in the country. And they are the ones on the front lines fighting that harder than anything else. It's kind of like the NRA in the sense that, you know, the NRA fights tooth and nail when it comes to things like anything that involves any type of regulation, like mental health screenings and any of the gun show loophole. Because if you were to do that, that means weapons manufacturers are going to lose money. So the whole goal here is never lose money. If we end qualified immunity, that's not going to be good for a lot of people's, you know, it wouldn't be good for a lot of people's pensions.
Why is that cat in a box? Wait, that's the one. I never saw that one.
Cat in a box?
I'm contributing to the positive attitude. There you go.
No, he is. And plus, we didn't see that cat before. The one we saw before was your hairless.
Yes, we're mixing it up. There you go.
We're mixing it up. Oh, my God. Look. It's funny. We were talking about cats before because Allie, who is on here, Allie Dulcimer, who is candidate for Congress in Virginia, is a cat person and was talking about her feline friends because she can't have dogs because of allergies. Is that it?
Yes. Yes.
Was that a good assessment of the situation?
That was a good assessment.
I do love that you're a pet person. See, how could somebody have a problem with you? Look at you with your cat. How cute.
It's just there's the good news, okay? We have a cat in the cameras. These days sometimes that's the best you can get, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So I'm just glad that you came on. You always help us get people and donations, and it's so nice of you because I know you have to take time out of your busy gaming schedule.
Stop. Wait, I'm terribly sorry to the woman who just left. Thank you for coming on. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you, Erica.
Just shot us a message. Yes.
I don't know if you know this when you came on, but she's running for U.S. Senate for North Carolina. So she's actually running a statewide campaign, which is insane. I have no intention of doing that, like ever. Just no.
On account of me doing decently on YouTube, I've got a good following and, you know, some money. I was hoping to, for the 2022 midterms, actually throw my weight behind a statewide candidate, maybe help out and get some of my fans canvassing in a congressional or senatorial election. So we've been gearing up to that. We're in contact with a good number of people. I haven't chosen a campaign yet, but when it actually runs through, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So wait, you're where in Washington, right?
I'm in Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Jason Call? He's a great
Jason Call.
On the list. It'd be easier close to home because otherwise I'd have to fly out every weekend, and that sounds like an inhibiting factor. So we'll have to see.
Well,
but probably, I mean,
here's an idea for a local candidate. You have Jason Call, and for a statewide issue, you have Whole Washington, which is fighting for single-payer health care in the state of Washington.
Thank you, Spider O'Doom.
And they've been they really haven't been able to get the type of momentum that I have no doubt they truly deserve. Again, that's probably because the message they're conveying is the one that's the right one. And that's really what we need. Oh, wow.
Wow. Thank you. Praxis. Okay. Well, Praxis has the good, this good socialist symbol. So definitely thank you very much. I like Vaush called people comrade. I don't feel like I can do that. I don't have standing to call people comrade because I don't know. I feel like I'd have to officially be like a Marxist or something.
Yeah, what are the rules? You're not doing that down here.
I will call you out, whatever you do.
No, but what's interesting is, so when I was in college, which was many years ago, I took a lot of philosophy classes. I was a philosophy minor, and one of the classes I took was a Marxist class with a gentleman, and for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. He was amazingly cool. And he wore the same thing every day. He actually was like, if you saw him, he was like the stereotypical Marxist. And he for sure had people like following him. He was considered like a subversive. He was definitely someone that was on watch lists and all sorts of stuff. And he was like the nicest guy. And I always thought that was just so interesting how he was so like feared.
He have a beard?
Yeah.
There you go. That's how you know.
It's the beard?
Oh, for a Marxist? Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
You have to have a beard?
They won't even.
Okay, well, now we're bringing in another beard. This is very exciting because now we could have like a beard fest.
Yeah, a beard.
Hey, Jen and John, I need to head off, but I really wanted to.
This is Peter.
You can call me.
Sorry, what did I say?
No.
Call me
I'm sorry because you kept calling to John for earlier. Sorry.
Oh,
I know that's Peter.
Yes, that's John is our producer.
Kept calling about
John's in the chat.
I wasn't totally far off.
Anyway, I wanted to give you my birthday gift, which is my son singing because I can't sing.
Oh.
But he can sing.
Hi,
hey, everybody.
He's gonna sing happy
entertainment. Entertainment is happening.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jen. Happy birthday to you.
That was so good. Are you a music major? What shirt are you wearing? Where are you?
So this is just a Pentagon hoodie.
Okay.
But I'm
for the Pentagon.
No.
Okay, there you go. Get out.
No, I was a musical theater major. But I'm taking the year off to work full time on my mom's campaign.
Where do you go?
So I studied at Penn State. I was a Penn State BFA musical theater major.
That's really cool. My son did a little piano performance before, but he would never do anything live. I can't even believe he recorded himself for me, but he's at Ithaca doing classical piano.
Wow. Love Ithaca.
I'm a former Big 12er myself.
Oh, stop it. We don't want to hear about Rutgers. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing him with me.
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sabrina, wonderful to see you again. Good to see you guys.
Thank you. I'm going to send you a graphic.
All right. Very cool. Bye.
Thank you, Melanie.
Have a good one. It was nice meeting you.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.